Good day. My name is Bill Harshman, and I'm host for today's session. Today's blog is presented by Training Location, your DiSC provider. Thank you for your interest and for visiting our website. Our topic today is understanding the D or dominant style. This is part of a series defining and describing each of the 4 DiSC styles, one at a time. Now, before we begin, let's remember the rules. When it comes to DiSC, there is no perfect style or combination of styles, and everybody has some degree of all 4 styles. Specifically, dominant, influence, steady, and conscientious. The model is read like the quadrants of a clock, with the D beginning the range between 9 and 12. The I follows, and so on to the C, which occupies the 6 to 9 quadrant. That part is not terribly important. And frankly, I could start with any one of the 4 styles on the quadrant. However, for those of you who prefer models and symmetry, this should work for you. I share the DiSC model with you here for reference only. I'll also share the reminder about pace and priority as relate to the DiSC model. Excuse me. Now notice that our 4 styles are arranged in the same quadrant system as the previous slide, with D in the upper left-hand quadrant, I in the upper right-hand quadrant, and so on. The vertical axis represents pace, while the horizontal axis represents priority. Now, the pace spectrum ranges from faster at the top of the vertical axis and moderate or deliberate at the bottom of the vertical axis. The priority spectrum ranges from task-oriented on the left and people-oriented on the right. Now, we can understand someone at a general level based upon our knowledge of their pace and priority. Just for clarification, we see that the D has a faster pace. Now, the D also has a task-oriented priority. Note the other DiSC styles fall into their unique quadrant of the pace and priority model. However, our focus today is on the D, or the dominant style. If you understand this relationship, you understand how DiSC is determined and are better able to navigate your interactions. As we move along today, let me caveat that the D style we're dealing with today will be referenced as a particular preferred style. Your preferred style will be your highest or most intense of your style or styles when you take an assessment. Further, a D in our work today is commonly referred to as a strong or higher D. Your actual DiSC assessment determines your intensity and the unique descriptors which correspond to your preferred style. As noted, the D style has a generally faster pace coupled with a task orientation. They also tend to be a little outspoken, generally questioning or curious, and even skeptical, meaning I might want a little proof of where that knowledge came from. Other descriptors of a higher D might include active or direct, firm, strong-willed, forceful, and results-oriented. Now, diving further into understanding a style, we need to look beyond simply observable behavior. Each style also has core needs that the research has shown. The core needs of a D include considering themselves strong enough to shape their own world. Also, controlling the factors that influence their fate, including successes and failures. Being first and being on top to win. And last, making progress and always moving forward. Now, as a high D, your strengths as a coworker may include working at a faster pace. Makes sense given the model we've learned. Keeping the team focused and on task. Making decisions when others cannot. Confronting tough issues or situations. And accepting change as a personal challenge. We'll see how these come into play later in the presentation. As a high D, your limitations may include coming across as unapproachable, insensitivity or perceived insensitivity to others, perceived impatience with others, and perhaps moving the team before it is ready. As a high D, you can improve your effectiveness by developing more patience, toning down directness and asking more questions, and awareness of body language, seeming more approachable and offering encouragement in your conversations. Here's a reminder from earlier in this session. It's always about pace and priority. I like to circle back to this key concept as the starting point to understanding one's DiSC style. Is one's pace faster or more moderate and deliberate? Is one's priority task-oriented or people-oriented? I'm going to stop here and add in one more learning point to our session today based upon this specific scenario. Now, perhaps as with other individuals, with the individuals shown in the slide, Robert and Melanie, you are able to determine only one of the pace and priority answers. However, at least both individuals will know something about the other's style. So let's refer to an earlier graphic from our session today. Specifically, if Robert discovers that Melanie has a faster pace, Robert can at least begin to determine that Melanie is probably either a D or an I, referring to our pace priority model down at the bottom of the screen. Similarly, if Melanie discovers that Robert demonstrates a task-oriented priority, Melanie can at least begin to determine that Robert is probably either a D or a C. Now, from there, each will want to observe more behaviors to help determine the other missing aspect of the pace priority model to help more accurately identify a specific DiSC style. As you may have sensed from other blogs and vlogs, I enjoy taking a fun look at ourselves through the lens of DiSC. When it comes to food, Ds love to microwave. Ds also sometimes eat over the sink to avoid getting plates and utensils dirty and simply to get the task done. If a D had a personalized license plate, it might read, "Too late, I won," addressing their competitive nature. Or "Bring it on," how they like to accept the challenge. Or "Boom, done," addressing their task completion. As always, the key to effectiveness through DiSC is understanding your and other styles, then using that knowledge for improved interactions. Thank you for joining us today. We hope this information has been valuable and helpful. We look forward to seeing you on a future vlog. Here's our contact information for your reference. Meanwhile, good luck with the DiSC. Thank you.